Many people think that one of the biggest challenges when it comes to painting is finding the right color. And after my husband painted our kitchen bright red, I can tell you, not all reds are created equal. But trying to make sense of all the claims crammed down to those paint cans can be confusing. And in some cases, misleading if you don't do your research. That's where Consumer Reports senior editor Dan DiClerico comes in. He joins us live now with some expert advice on the terms you can take seriously and the ones you should be wary of. It's good to see you again, Dan. How are you?
Good morning. Great to be here. Thanks, Norma.
Yeah, so let's get started. You know, when I'm looking at paint cans, I'm thinking, okay, what have I used in the past maybe that worked well? But then there are these new paints and you think, oh, maybe I should try something new. What should I be looking for?
Yeah, there's a lot of puffery in the paint aisle, we're calling this. More and more superlatives, things like plus or premium, which are definitely going to drive the cost of that paint up, but not necessarily improve its performance. So, you know, look out for that. Environmental claims. Now, these used to mean something when paints were loaded with VOCs, volatile organic compounds. But these days, most paints are either no or zero VOC. So you don't have to worry too much about going for the green paint these days.
Okay, that's huge. I mean, a lot of people, when they're painting, they don't want to breathe in all those fumes. There is still some smell when you're painting, but it's not, of course, like I remember it when I was growing up. You know, you had to open the windows and aerate the house because it was so strong.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do still recommend ventilating anytime you paint.
Sure.
It's gonna help the paint dry. You know, in addition to getting rid of any of those leftover fumes.
Okay, one of the things that also confuses me is when I look at, you know, enamel, flat, sheen, eggshell. I confess to still being confused by that.
No, it is confusing, but this is the most important thing to pay attention to on a paint can. So when we talk about sheen, there's three basic options: flat, semi-gloss, and satin. Flat is going to hide imperfections. It's perfect for a living room, a low traffic area. Semi-gloss gives you a little more shine, a little more protection, great for trim or maybe kitchen cabinets. And then the satin or the eggshell is right in the middle, a little bit of both worlds. You know, when in doubt, go with the satin. So that is really the most important thing to pay attention to.
Okay, so it says here, also check out what 1 gallon is, because 1 gallon's not always a gallon, is it?
That's correct. Yeah, you're expecting 128 ounces. You might see as little as 120. Now they're not ripping you off. That extra space is for the tint that's these days almost always added at the store. But it's just something to be mindful to be aware of.
Okay, so you looked at some of the paints out there and the ones that you tested that you really liked. What were the ones that left a really good impression on you?
Yeah, so a few that popped for those interior paint projects. If you're headed to Home Depot, the Behr Marquee is one of our top-rated paints. If you shop at Lowe's, go for the Valspar Reserve. These are two very top-performing paints. For those exterior paint projects, it's Behr again. But also Clark and Kensington, which is sold at Ace, did extremely well in our tests.
That's amazing. And then as far as, you know, the other words to look out for, just sort of, I guess you would say use common sense, because you see the word, like you said earlier, plus, premium plus. What does that really mean? That's sort of misleading. Can you just sort of ignore that and focus more on that finish that we were talking about earlier, and of course price for each of these cans?
Absolutely, yeah. The finish, that's going to tell you how that paint is going to perform on the walls. Pay attention to the price, certainly. You know, many less expensive paints that we tested in our ratings actually outperform some costing 2 and 3 times as much. So you don't have to spend top dollar to get a top quality paint. Okay, I love this. This is, again, the great advice from Consumer Reports. You tested all these paints, and if people are interested in going, go to consumerreports.org for more information. Dan, it's great talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, when we come back, we're switching gears again. Marty is going to tell us all about the forecast. You know, we had a lot of rain, but will we dry out? Marty lets us know. Plus, will we get some more summer warmth in the future? Marty